One man who seems to be there for the long haul, at least anyway, is Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool. He said in the lead up to last night's game with Sevilla, their first back in the group stages of the Champions League for 3 years, that they've worked a hell of a long way and worked very, very hard to get back to this position, that they weren't going to squander it. And then over the course of 90 minutes, they seemed to do their best to squander it. Because defensively, again, they were nowhere.
Well, they squandered the opportunity to win last night and get 3 points. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to squander the.
I know it's a long road to go, but you kind of look at the games that are out ahead of them, and the blueprint that's been there from Liverpool so far this season seems to be a very open defence. I mean, it looks like nothing was learned from the defeat from Manchester City defensively, at least.
Well, I think the Manchester City was a different one in terms of they had a player sent off. And I think the last thing that Liverpool need to do, and obviously the emphasis on attack. The Manchester City match was different in that they were the goal. They could have been three in front.
Probably should have been
by the time the player sacked. Now because they're going. Now when they got the player sent off, now they have to defend, which is not their strongest point. Actually, it's their weakest point.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to lose another 4 goals. Like most other teams wouldn't have lost 4 goals. But I think in Klopp's, I'm only trying to look inside his head, where his emphasis is definitely on attack.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much emphasis on defending at all. So against Manchester City, when they had the 11 players, although they did go a goal down, they could have been 3 up. But once now they lost the player, now they have to defend. And they're certainly not at the best at that.
What do you make of them going forward?
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. I thought that for many parts of the game and many aspects of the game, I think they were very good. The attacking was absolutely brilliant. I mean, they missed a penalty to make it 3-1. They missed other chances, but see, you're not going to be on the attack for 9. You have to have a balance, and there's no balance in Liverpool in terms of, well, we attack when we have the ball and we defend well. There's no defending well. The emphasis on attack, and there's no team can attack for 90 minutes, but they can score a lot of goals in the time that they are attacking, and they're going to need to score them, because once they have to defend at all, as we saw last night again, they lost goals very, very easily.
When you're saying you're trying to get into Jurgen Klopp's head and trying to decide, and that's a difficult job for anybody to try and do, when you're saying you're trying to decipher what his style of play would be, can you see that his style of play perhaps is not along those lines of you score 3, we'll score 4, but that if we just keep relentlessly attacking, then you will have, ideally anyway, no opportunity to attack us, and that's his game plan. So defensively, he feels somehow that he doesn't need to work in his defence as much as he should, because he's got 6 lads up top who are going to run and cause defences on the other side nightmares.
Well, I think there's a lot. Yeah, I think there's a lot in there. I think when he took over last year, my thought was he's a one-trick pony with a very good trick. And that was, and it's proved to be the case actually, because it's attack. We're going to put the other team under pressure. We're going to score goals. And as we can see, we can only go on what we see. There's certainly no emphasis on defending. I mean, the 2 goals they lost last night, might have lost another one near the end, was for really bad defending, and that has been proven the case in the last 18 months. So I don't think he's learned anything about saying, we're going to have a sense of balance in this. I think he honestly believes, with the attack people he's got, that we're going to score more goals than anybody else. We're going to be on the attack all the time. And Didi Hamann was very good on RTE last night. Didi Hamann said, if you look at it in a reasonable way, they've actually spent a lot of money in Chamberlain, for him, who is another midfield player attacker.
Yeah.
And they've got Brazilian had to come into the team.
Firmino?
Firmino's there.
Coutinho came in
to come in. They've got Lallana. There's lots of players, Sturridge.
Final third players.
Yeah, they're all, from midfield on, they're very, very strong. And he spent money on thing that a lot of people, like Didi Hamann said, to get the balance right, you'd want to be spending that 40 million on a defender, because we have enough attackers. But that hasn't been the case. Actually, I don't think they bought a defender in the.
Well, the argument is that they tried to break. Well, they brought Andy Robinson in from Hull and left him on the bench. Probably had their.
That's what you can't understand about Klopp. You see, everybody can talk about Moreno for him. He was a very, very bad defender, right? Actually, he was bombed out of the team 18 months ago.
Yeah.
And they bought Robertson and Milner, who was, I think, he was our player of the year last year, playing at left back. He's on the bench, so it's very hard to see inside his head. To think, well, Moreno's in the team, these guys are on the bench. And these, I think most people would agree, are much better players and better defenders than Moreno. So it's very hard to know actually what he's thinking.
You've been analysing games for God knows how long at this stage. It sounds awful to say this, but does it get to a point where you just have to throw your hands up and just say there's no point in analysing Liverpool defensively because they're not going to bother defensively? They're just...
Yeah, well, I'm at that stage. I've been that stage for a while because this has been going on since he was there, right? And that's why you get the inconsistency because like the first half of the game yesterday up to 60 minutes, I know they lost the goal early on, but they played brilliantly.
In terms of attitude, they seem a remarkably positive side. At no point is there a slumping of the shoulders and a sense that they're
they have a go all the time and they work hard. There's no doubt about that. But they actually played. Salah was very good. The centre forward Firmino was good. Like going forward, they're excellent. The three players have got pace. They're going to score goals. But there's no team going to attack for 90 minutes. You know, if you look at all the great teams in the world. I mean, Chelsea, I'm not saying Chelsea were a great team last year, but they had a balance. Mourinho's team has had a balance. You see, Mourinho, well, a lot of people say, oh, he's a defensive coach. He's not actually a defensive coach. He's a very well organiser of the defence. And why he gets that name is when you're attacking his teams, they don't let in a goal easily. So they're going to be defending more than the other teams. For Liverpool, if they have... Liverpool say, well, they're not a defensive team because as soon as the team attacks, they almost score. Arsenal are the same. Manchester City are in that bracket as well. But with Mourinho's teams over the years, when you attack them, they don't let go in easily. They defend. So they then know that he's not then as a defensive coach. He's not a defensive coach. He's a very good organiser of defences. And so as Conte proved that last year as well. But there's a balance to it. I mean, if you look at Mourinho's teams over the years, they always scored enough goals to win the league. And Conte had scored enough goals last year, but they just didn't concede that many goals. So there's a balance to what they're doing. Manchester City are in the same bracket.
Yeah.
You know, they've got great forward players. Are they going to be consistent enough? Well, I don't know. But certainly, we've seen that they've conceded goals. They've scored a lot of goals because they've got brilliant players going forward, as Liverpool have. But the teams that are going to win, in my opinion, are the teams that are balanced.